welcome to the video. It's me, Ciara, aka Ciara in the bonus, and we are here live on Twitch. Make sure you guys drop a follow to the Twitch, to the live stream. The link is pinned in the comments in the description. You guys can give me music and video recommendations in the comments, but if you come to the stream, just let me know you're from YouTube and I'll be able to get to your reaction suggestions way sooner. So today, y'all already know why we're here. Eminem fans, stand up. Our GOAT is under attack. But I'm gonna listen with an open mind. I've always wondered what's going on with Eminem labels, and this video just so happened to get done. So shout out to Luis for it. I've seen his videos before. I know he has good videos. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Who was the best artist on Eminem's label? I don't know all of them. I know Joe Budden was one. I don't know the other ones for real. He probably has some of his friends signed. But y'all let me know. Also, Eminem fans, I just dropped a reaction to the Eminem show, reacting to the Eminem show 22 years later. That is up on my channel. Is one of the last videos that I just uploaded. So more Eminem reactions coming, and let me know if y'all have any Eminem song deep cut suggestions, you know, hidden gems. Let me know. I'm trying to listen to them all. But on that note, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. The Eminem label curse.
The biggest stars in the history of hip-hop.
It's crazy how a lot of the biggest artists or most successful people, when they try to branch off and like have their own thing, a lot of times it don't work out. Why do y'all think that is? Like, why? Like, I have a few theories. I'm gonna say them, but it's crazy that some of the greatest people, when they branch off and try to do like management or labels, a lot of times it's not successful, even though they individually are very successful. It's crazy.
Because of that reputation and commercial power, it's often assumed that just being near him is enough to uplift your career. But if you take a look at his track record when it comes to signing artists to shady records, his
Yellow
success rate is scarily low. At this point,
I mean, 50 Cent is a big, bro, 50 Cent is big enough to like account for all the other L's.
So bad that it's a miracle anyone even still wants to sign a deal with his Aftermath back to label.
At the label. Oh, no wonder I haven't heard nothing about him since he first popped up.
Turns 25 years old. They've racked up a huge catalog of failures that has left.
That's good. What? The Alchemist, come on, that's one of the GOAT producers, so you can't. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, the label has some very, very, very high highs that a lot of labels have never had, and some really low lows. But it kind of balances out, you know what I'm saying?
As the label turns 25 years old, they've racked up a huge catalog of failures that has left too many talented spitters to wither on the shelf, taking their best years as an MC from them to the point that they usually end up barely escaping with their careers. But is Eminem really the one to blame for their failures? Or can someone make the argument that the artists did it to themselves? It's your boy Luis.
Maybe a mixture, maybe like marketing. Maybe he doesn't have the best marketing department.
And how it all went wrong. And by the end of the video, I want you to comment down below who's at fault for their downfalls. This video is brought to you by...
Interesting. Okay.
Skin needs safe.
Let's see what the comments say. 50 Cent Griselda. Obi tries. Obi blaming 50. And Obi, you could get stumped by Obi. Hold on. I remember he dissed him in the show, in a song, right? Was he dissing him back in the day though? On like early album? Marshall Mathers LP?
There are some common issues that seemingly always find their way to the surface.
I know,
and it might
suggest gonna be on my head for not remembering the lyric.
Just that when it's all said and done, Eminem really just doesn't know how to use his power to help other artists. One man who felt the fall from grace that can come with a short-lived successful run at Shady is none other than Obi Trice.
Obi Trice, real name, no gimmicks.
Hailing from the same city as M, Detroit's own Obi Trice, real name, no gimmicks, first caught Shady's attention while the rapper was still on the rise himself. It was a hot summer day and Eminem just dropped the Marshall Mathers LP. I shot out there from the hood, jumped in the Regal, shot up there to the studio, and spit for him from the passenger side of his car and gave him a CD. And he was like, alright, I'll holla. I really didn't think nothing of it. At that time in my life, my whole thought process was all fucked up. I ain't really seen the future with what I was going through. It wasn't like, oh my god, I just met Eminem. I really didn't see the vision that I could be saved or found like that until I got the phone call that they were ready for me. He changed my life around. He definitely changed my change in my pocket. Officially signed to Shady in 2000, Obi had that kind of competitive spirit that Eminem would gravitate towards, and has even been on record saying that he bodied Eminem on every track they did together.
Oh wow. Okay, I need to listen to the song. Y'all, anybody that was alive back during this era, like listening to this, I don't know if I know one Obi Trice song, but bodied him. I gotta hear those songs, bro.
On his debut album, Cheers, Obi got maybe the biggest
Never heard
Eminem
of it.
stimulus package we have ever seen. Not only did Shady produce a bunch of songs
Really?
on the record, but he also appeared on 5 tracks. As a result,
Wow, 5? Really?
the record went gold, and in a rare occurrence for an artist
Wow.
signed to the label, it looked like Obi had enough skill and support to stand on his own 2 feet. As a result, when it came time to drop Second Rounds on Me, Obi was insistent that an overworked Shady should take a step back.
You know, I came out with Second Rounds on Me, which was an album that I did really without the help of Eminem. Like, I kind of really did that myself.
Okay.
And
How did
brought
do?
it to Eminem's attention because I didn't believe that he should be working on my album, D12's album,
True.
50 Cent, and he's an artist himself, you know,
True.
like I just wanted them to give
That's
him
what I
a
was
break.
thinking.
I showed him that.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, yo, Eminem was producing on the songs and he was actually featured on the songs. Like, this man put in and work on the album like it's his album.
You know, I can bring you an album without you having to be there every day and be involved in that.
Although Eminem was impressed, the sales didn't equal to what he had done before. And with only one
Wait,
Shady, although
if
Eminem was
you-
impressed, the sales didn't
Number 8, that's not bad. What? 74,000 copies is bad? People can't even sell 50,000 copies these days. For artists that's not like the biggest, isn't that kind of good? Wait, what?
equal to what he had done before. And with only one Shady feature, the project sold exactly half. In 2008, Obi would leave the label once and for
half.
all, and since
Okay, but like, what? That's pretty good for him being by himself with no Eminem on the project, though.
then, he's offered various explanations about what went wrong. For one thing, he had the misfortune of rising to fame around the same time as Shady's most successful signee.
50 really did it to me, man. If there was no 50 Cent, my shit would have been out of here. All
50 did it to you, or was he just better?
that momentum he had, like Wangster, when he came out, man, it was just like, you know, we fuck with Obi, but
So you're saying if you didn't have a better artist than you on the label with better music, better marketability, better personality, would have been good. Of course you would be, but competition is supposed to make you better. You don't sit there and blame somebody else for being better than you. Like,
this guy right here is Tupac. Shot 9 times. Whoa, shit. I'm like, damn, I'm talking. My brother was my manager at the time. I'm like, damn, we gotta get shot out here, bro.
On top of that, he felt that M's star power and how active he was in the game stifled his ability to foster his own relationships. Back then, when M didn't move, we did suffer some consequences from that. When I asked for a beat from Pharrell, in order for him to give me a beat, Eminem had to get on one of his songs and one of his beats as well. It was
wow.
like, we give you this, and then you can get this.
Sorry, buddy.
that's kind of
Like many of the signees to Shady,
I guess that's how you
think he
deal
was
with people if you're not actually cool with them.
blameless. Because at the time, he was missing promo appearances, getting on Interscope boss Jimmy
No.
Iovine's bad side, and generally messing up.
Really?
You know, I was young, fresh out the hood, jumped into this music thing. It was a little overwhelming for me. I didn't seize the moment when I should have, so I had to move on, and that's just how things go. It's a
Oh, okay, so it is your fault.
business first, and that's just how it was. Everything cool though. Those are still my people over there at Interscope and Shady. That's family for life. On his independent
Okay.
grind since 2012, Obi is still immensely respected by fans who remember those early days of Shady. The only issue is that once he's left the label, no one beyond his hardcore fan base are really checking for him anymore. Unfortunately, he wasn't the only
mean,
one
at
who
least he
suffered
got a
this fate,
hardcore fan
and it's
base.
one that Stat Quo knows all too well. A Dirty South lyricist who
What's
was
this?
killing it on a regional level, Stat Quo signed in 2003. Alongside
I don't know this
50,
one.
he was the only other artist to be signed to both Dre and Shady at the same time. With that kind of buzz he had and how much additional fanfare he
Damn, I
received,
know Dr. Dre had dudes in 360.
Album The Re-Up, Quo's debut album, Statlanta, was constantly
Oh, he was from
teased.
Atlanta.
But sadly, the record wouldn't emerge until after he had been kicked off the label. After repeatedly being stalled, Stat got frustrated about the direction of the project, and in one ill-advised attempt to assert his authority, he lost his connection to Eminem.
It was a song called Dance on It. M wrote the chorus.
Okay.
And M wanted me to say the chorus. And I thought it was not good.
Oh.
If I would have said, yeah, that's it, that's the one we going with, then I would have got my album. But I tried to be on some, nah, I don't like that, that ain't a hit. And I really was arguing with like the...
So you gonna tell Eminem, one of the kings of writing rap choruses, that it wasn't it? Bro, the ego. Ego is a crazy thing, bro. No way. Not even something to pick a fight over, bro. That's something when somebody's better than you or like a better musician, you just like, bro, even if you disagree, you say something one time, okay, that's it. You tried to voice your opinion, but you know what? Hey, I don't know about this, bro, but you know what? I'm gonna trust you. That's how you play it. You're being like smart about it. Like, wow, the ego really does get in trouble sometimes.
The top selling rapper of all time on what a fucking hit was. What a dumb idiot I was. My exact quote was, I'll put it out if you stay on the hook. And then I said, well, if you give me $1 million, then I'll put it out. When I said that, me and Eminem went.
What? He told him, if you give me $1 million, I'll put it out?
What a dumb idiot I was. My exact quote was, I'll put it out if you stay on the hook. And then I said, well, if you give me $1 million, then I'll put it out.
Why'd you even say that?
When I said that, me and Eminem went like this.
That just make you sound opportunistic.
He was mad as shit.
Having stayed on the independent circuit ever since then, Stat's true potential as an elite.
Of course, think about all the people that was like using him, you know, trying to just only look at him like a paycheck or whatever. And you're like, oh yeah, even though you just wrote this for me, you know, if you give me $1 million, I'll put it out. Like, what?
Elite Southern MC was never.
Shout out the game.
Where Stat might have turned his back on
Whoa, so he's saying that this guy wrote a diss for the game to Eminem. When did the game and Eminem beef? Y'all gotta, Eminem fans, let me know about that one.
Shady. The same can't be said for Cassius, a Californian MC who became known as the greatest rapper in Orange County. Cassius jumped at the chance to sign with M's label in 2004. In fact, an entire barbershop overheard his conversation with Shady.
Once M called, like 2 days later, I was in a barbershop, you know what I mean? And he called, I'm like, I put it on speaker, I'm like, nigga, this Eminem. Listen, you hear his voice, this Eminem right now. The nigga's like, what?
Kept on the shelf for 2 years before surfacing.
Stop playing.
Nah, that's crazy. It's crazy how like these little decisions can like change the whole trajectory of your career, bro. People don't understand, bro. You gotta learn how to appeal to people's like ego and stuff like that. You gotta learn how to like play into their ego, their personality, stuff like that when you're doing business, especially when it comes to music or creativity. Like, people don't take too kindly to being told their shit is trash. Like, the last dude telling him what did he say, the chorus was bad or whatever, that was just dumb, bro.
And gave some of the standout verses on the entire album. Soon, he followed up the release with the County Hound EP in 2007, and with that, it looked like he was ready to blow. But like a lot of his contemporaries from that era, the changing realities of the music business left him shelved as the label focused on bigger stars. It wasn't anything over at Shady Records, it was just at Interscope Records. They were like, we can get Cassius and he can do a few 100,000, but M and 50? It was doing 10 million at the time, so it just made more sense for them to come with their albums. After leaving the label in 2011 to go independent, Cassius believed this era basically represented the beginning of the end of Shady as a company that could really push stars. It's the politics of the game. Sometimes at a label, you spend too much and you gotta bring back something into your parent company, and they have to go with the top acts at that time. Obi Trice's Second Rounds on Me had come out, and they didn't really push his album as they should have. That started a downfall for us as a company at that point.
See, hold on, you gotta include that part. He said it wasn't shady. So that means it wasn't Eminem and his label, it was Interscope.
So M had to come out and do the most with our albums to make that money back. Obi's album was slamming, but it don't matter how dope your project is. You see what happened to some of 50 Cent's last project. It don't matter how good it is. If you're not getting the right promotion, you can only do so much. Renamed The Art of Dying, Cash's debut album wouldn't be released until 2012.
Yeah, didn't they say like Kanye West kind of moved 50 Cent up out of there? By the time Kanye came around, they had started like, you know, stop promoting 50 Cent as much and stuff.
And never made anywhere near the impact that it could have if it had been released on the major label imprint. But by Cash's own admission, he, much like Eminem, had his own demons to fight at the time.
Cause I wanted to release music, and at that point, it was a struggle, like a personal struggle. You know, like I used to, before the era became cool. Like I was like for real, like a, you know, a pill head dude, like, you know, like 100 Xanax, 100 Valiums, like his document. And people like, they ain't nothing to brag about, because somebody could probably die trying to play like how I was playing it. So I wasn't as interested in the music as I should have been.
A man who is still connected to the shady system as a writer, Cassius has always went to bat for Eminem, and even dissed Benzino when their feud bubbled to the surface once again.
I ran a search on Benzino, but Google went blank. Just pictures a motel with some nigga he babe.
But where Cassius thinks his own substance issues played a role in his demise as a major label artist, Bobby Creekwater feels that M's own battle with drugs meant that he wasn't in the position to guide anyone else's career. Rather than being sent music directly by
That's a burn.
Bobby, Eminem first heard about—
I mean, yeah, okay, odds are, if you were a person that's addicted to drugs, that might affect your decision making, your focus, a lot of others. That's not too crazy.
Him through another rapper named Daseem, who had Bobby featured on his demo. Immediately, Shady was more intrigued by what he heard coming from Bobby and signed him in mid-2005. With a style reminiscent of Outkast's Andre 3000, Bobby had people's attention on mixtapes like Anthem to the Streets and Back to Briefcase. But in 2009, he revealed that he was done with Eminem's label, citing differences over the direction of his career.
I, Bobby Creekwater, I'm officially off Shady. I'm no longer with Shady no more. We parted ways. It was a business decision. It wasn't no bad blood or nothing like that. You understand what I'm saying? The relationship just ran its turn. You understand what I'm saying? And as far as Bobby Creek is concerned, I got big plans for Bobby Creekwater. You know what I'm saying? So that particular relationship wasn't helping as far as the plans I had for Bobby Creek.
Much like Cassius, Bobby seemed to believe that Interscope knowing that an M record would pull in huge numbers meant that the shady artists were always a lesser priority.
Basically, it was this. M or Shady had to pay some bills because they had released some projects that didn't do as well as they planned or what have you. So M had to go make that right. And M making that right, Creek will have had to do more waiting. As an artist, you are your first concern.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I am my first concern, so I couldn't afford to do any more waiting.
Speaking a year on, Bobby got more specific about some of the other problems plaguing the label. Namely, he believed M's drug addiction derailed the Shady re-up era. It was an unfortunate thing that a cast that talented and all the plans that we had didn't come to fruition. As far as Eminem is concerned, I can possibly speak on what he was going through at the time. I do know that the industry in this game has a lot of pressures, and the higher up you go, the harder it gets. He was responsible for a label and being responsible for artists and their dreams. To be honest, I was definitely worried about my status as an artist. Like many of his fellow artists, Bobby's album would finally surface in 2011 and did essentially nothing. Now, he hasn't even released music in over 3 years. With Bobby, the Shady label mishandled.
But low-key, he might as well have just stayed at that point.
Handled him so much to the point that he could never really get a solid buzz. While almost a decade later, Griselda's Westside Gunn and Conway the Machine would only escape the label with their careers intact thanks to their unrelenting hustle. A Buffalo rap crew who brought their own form of brooding.
I've heard these dudes are cold. I've heard Conway the Machine. All right, this is Conway, right?
Boom bap to the world. Conway the Machine and Westside Gunn signed to Shady as part of a joint deal. Meanwhile, their cousin, Benny the Butcher, opted to remain independent. After the release of WWCD on the label, the crew looked to be moving in a positive direction. But as time went on, their leader Westside Gunn felt that the label didn't sufficiently promote him or Griselda, which he publicly displayed on Twitter in a tweet that read,
"May I present?"
Ooh, not a tweet. Okay, this is where it gets messy. Like, To me, I never think you should put your business stuff on your social media account.
At Shady Records knows we're nominated for a BET award tonight. Around the time that he dropped his own solo Shady release, Who Made the Sunshine, a fan noticed Eminem had given a plug to the Alchemist's album, which wasn't released via Shady, but not to Westside Gunn's project that dropped the same day. No post of
that's crazy.
Westside Gunn's album that's on your own label. LOL, what the fuck? After all that went down, Westside saw it as the final straw and he left.
I'm
Yo,
off
what's
Shady.
good, King Guns?
That was the last joint, right?
Yeah, I'm off Shady. I'm actually a free agent.
How's that feel?
Feel great. Who Made the Sunshine was it.
Later, Westside argued that he saw the
Damn,
Shady
bro.
platform as a means to expand their brand, not to become a part of the Eminem system.
When I was
Yeah.
signed to Shady,
That's smart. That's smart. You use it as a stepping stone. If you already know that going to that label isn't gonna necessarily work out in your best interest, you might as well get what you can, get the little promo, maximize the time that you are connected to the label to expand your audience, get as much as you can, and then get out and go somewhere else that's better. That's how the businesses will do it. That's how the business or the labels treat the artists. It's not even about Eminem's label. It's more about Interscope and the bigger label and how they treat the artists. What they do is they leech onto these artists, big or small, and get as much as they can out of them, and then they drop them or go focus on somebody else.
I never even wanted to do an Eminem song because it don't even mix. I don't do shit just because. Oh, I'm with Shady. I gotta do 100 Eminem songs. It wasn't like that. It was just like, you know, the opportunity of being over there with them guys. That's all I really wanted, you know what I'm saying? But I still wanted to have my sound.
Despite the fact that he initially seemed to be at peace with his decision, Westside has since argued with Eminem fans online, even majorly shading his former label boss. Bro think he's shady. I'd rather jump off a bridge. Speaking of getting off on the wrong foot with Eminem's audience, his brother Conway the Machine was always uncomfortable on Shady. Within weeks of getting his first Eminem collab on Bang, he took aim at M's listenership and how they fixated on the label boss.
What was that tidal wave like when suddenly all the Eminem fans became aware of what you guys are doing?
A bunch of nerds and stands and shit that don't understand me and they don't relate to what I bring to the table with my music. You know what I'm saying? It's
Really?
just like, fuck all that. Where is M?
Yeah.
Where is Eminem?
True. Bro, I mean, can't lie. Sometimes when some of my faves collab with people and I'm not interested in the person, now to me, to be interested, all you gotta do is be talented. But everybody's not like me, right? If someone sounds good, my ears are open. But some people, where they're just mid, I'm like, all right, okay, my fave featured on this song. Let's skip to their part. Okay, I don't really care about what you do. But that's only if you're not good. But some people, it doesn't even matter if the actual artist or their music is good. They still don't care. They're just there for Eminem, especially Eminem fans too. And Eminem has talked about this. Eminem has addressed this in his music multiple times, where there's certain audiences, there's certain fans that literally have this mentality like, oh, I don't usually listen to rap, but I'll listen to Eminem. And he literally hates those type of fans. He literally hates those fans. So I'm just saying.
We want an M album.
Much like his brother, Conway fulfilled his deal and bounced with his album God Don't Make Mistakes. Not even given so much as an Eminem feature to boost sales, he actually said that Shady didn't have any tangible effect on his project.
How much input did M have on this project, if any? None. What about feedback-wise? Does he give you feedback?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it 100. I went to Detroit and I was in, M's studio, him, Paul, Royce, and played him the album front to back, and he fucked with every record. I was like, this is ready to go.
When it was released, the project, which was met with critical acclaim, landed at 175 on the charts. And in a testament to just how poorly Shady functions as a label these days, he actually has better numbers on the independently released From a King to a God 2 years prior. From Westside Boogie being forced to wait 3 years between the release of Everything's for Sale and More Black Superheroes, which led him to fail to chart the second time around, to new artists like Grip and Easy Mill getting about as much traction.
Grip, bro, I knew. Signed to him, I just thought he collabed. But Grip is hella talented. I'm not gonna lie. I heard his song called IDG.
as they would have if they stayed independent, the legacy of Shady Records is really in jeopardy. So is there any way back for the label, or is
They
it
need
doomed
better marketing, bro. That's really all it is. They could get a better, more like updated young marketing team. I think that would be fun.
to be seen as a failure? For one thing, what's clear is that the formula of giving them a Shady feature and expecting this to amount to a career is not working, particularly when they don't ever get a placement on his albums, which would be a far superior platform. Last time he had someone that was on his label appear on his album was 50 Cent, and that was in 2009.
Okay, that's kind of crazy.
Besides that, the label, which proudly declares "Trust Us" as their motto at the top of their website, doesn't actually have any kind of identity at this point, other than being known for Shady himself. No one fits on the Shady roster because M doesn't do anything with any of the artists. He should just retire the label. As a result of this, the perception is that signing to M isn't some life-changing event. Instead, it's just a similar pattern which will ultimately lead to another flop. Sign to Shady and you get an Eminem verse, a Sway freestyle that says Eminem's new artist goes off, and then they stop answering your calls. From Obi Trice onwards, each man on the Shady roster, not named 50 Cent, has never been able to escape the M connection. So much so that even after they leave, many of them can't get their careers back on track. And unfortunately, someone with a fanbase like Shady's is unlikely to ever be a successful label boss when the expectation of his fans are a part of the problem. Eminem's fanbase is so globally big that a majority won't give anyone else the time of day after they hear M's part in a track that he does for a new artist. No matter what you spit about or how different you are from Eminem, you're always going to be compared to him by a mass majority of people who hear you for the first time. Signing to Shady should be a golden opportunity. However, it's clear it's anything but that. And unless newer signees like Grip and Easy Mill can change that perception, then the failures of his label will be one of the few blemishes on M's Hall of Fame career.
But that's the case, like I said at the beginning, that's the case with a lot of people that are great at what they do. For whatever reason, it's very common for the people who are the best at what they do to struggle with managing other people or trying to repeat the success with other people. I don't know, bro. Maybe it's something about, you know, greatness just can't be taught, can't be transferred. You either have it or you don't. I don't know, bro. It's something like that. See the comments. These dudes expecting M to make them into the next 50 Cent. Completely forgetting 50 didn't even need M. 50 already had New York on those before you met Shady. True. They're usually 2 megastars and the rest do okay. True. I mean, yeah, it's just some labels have enough money to have a bunch of artists, but like when you really think about it, the ratio of like big successful artists like on Eminem or 50 Cent level, it's probably like one really successful artist to 9, you know, not good artists. So it's not a high probability. That's why the label signed so many people, because they got to scrape up all this money to make signing the people worth it. And they're banking that one of the artists blow up. So it's not even the Eminem label thing. It's pretty much all the labels. But let's be real. As of right now, and he didn't even do Joe Budden. I'm surprised he didn't do Joe Budden in here. But even then, it's like, bro, let's be real. J. Cole probably has the best label. I'm talking, he features on his artist project. They feature on his project. They have multiple collab albums. And they have the Dreamville Festival that they've been doing every year for like the past 3 or 4 years, where literally he gives his artists a chance to feel loved instead of, like, you know, whatever size artists they are. They built such a strong foundation with artists that's on the same wavelength, that all care about music, that are all talented in their own way. They all help each other. They all feature on each other's album. And J. Cole's not too big to feature on their albums. And he's not too big to let them feature on his albums. And then if they don't fit on his albums, he has collab projects. So now he has a very strong fan base that he built, that he allowed to expand to them. And now all of them can feel the love from their fans as a family, not just, oh, they're here for J. Cole. Say the smaller artists like Luke, Kaz, Almond, Boz, when they go to Dreamville Fest, if they haven't gone on tour all year, or if they haven't been able to get gigs all year, they're 100% going to feel the love and feel like a big artist. when they go to their Dreamville festival. And that is so big for artists. You gotta keep their morale up. You gotta make sure they feel loved, included, not made smaller than that. And I think Dreamville has done a better job at that than most labels in history. Like, to where literally we're getting brand deals for everybody. Yes, the bigger artists are gonna eat more, but we're making sure, hey, smaller artists that's been on the label, y'all still gonna get a cut of this revenue from merch. Y'all still gonna get a cut from these deals and sponsorships and stuff that we get. Y'all still gonna get a cut. Hey, so what? We weren't able to go on tour all year. You didn't make that much. Boom, Dreamville Fest. We're over here generating over 150 million this past year, and it's probably gonna just go up more and more. That festival that J. Cole does and Dreamville does every year is probably gonna get towards 250 million value, 500 million value. Like, it's probably gonna really get up there when you think about it. So to me, J. Cole has the model for how to go about this. And I think, honestly, the problem with Eminem's label, like I said, is just their marketing. If he had the marketing of like Dreamville on Shady Records, his artists might be able to do well. But I also think it has to do with curating a label full of people with the right personality and on the same wavelength, and those people being relatable to the fans. And I think that's something that a lot of these other labels have. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Drop a follow to the Twitch. The link is pinned in the comments and in the description. I appreciate you checking out. Let me know what else to check out in the comments. Feel free to give me any guys music or video suggestions in the comments. And of course, if you come through to the live stream, you will be able to get me to check out your reaction a lot faster. Drop a follow. Let me know you're from YouTube over on Twitch, and I will see you guys in the next one.